Hello and welcome back to Love Letters to Lois by Art. This is a true story of love letters written by Art, my grandfather, to Lois, my grandmother, back in 1944 when he was serving as a United States Marine during World War II. Today's letter was written on Thursday, July 6, 1944, and I must say, it's an interesting letter. It begins, "My dearest Lois, came back from the base show with a terrible longing for you. Seen Christmas holiday. Wasn't much good, dismal in some parts, but it made me think of you so much. The boy being split up from his girl gave me such a low feeling. God, if only the two of us could be together. Time can be so slow, especially when you're up there and I'm down here." The song in the picture was very pretty. Drumming through my mind now. The name of it was Always. Songs can really express my feelings at times. You know what I mean, don't you, honey? The play must be real good if you all have to give it a few more times. By the way, received another wonderful letter from you today. Doing good, Lois, keeping my courage right up there. If it wasn't for your letters, yours truly would be on the bottom. And here's where the letter gets interesting. Had quite an experience last night, and so help me, honey, I was never so burnt up in my life. Still am, and when I find out what his name is going to suffer. Very dirty trick. And it had me trembling. This is what happened. Had a telephone call at the barracks last night. Answered it, and some guy asked if I had a girl in Washington. I said yes, and then he asked if I wanted to speak to her. My heart jumped, and I yelled to put her on. Then, after a pause, the fellow said that you were here, on the station. Well then, honey, you can imagine how I felt. Thought maybe you had come to be married to me. I then asked where you were. No answer, and then suddenly he says, "Your girl just left with an officer to go to a hotel together." Not exactly those words, hun, but then and there I knew that it was a hoax. Cursed him out and slammed down the receiver. Simply was trembling all over. A minute later, that ma'am I told you about called up. I refused to answer it, so my buddy, a married fellow, answered it for me. Man, did he ever bawl the hell out of her. He said he personally would beat the hell out of the boy that called. Really made me feel good being a buddy like that. She was behind the trick, but I cannot find the fellow's name. My buddy is the real tall fellow in the picture. He is married and has 2 kids. He told me if somebody called him up like that and said something like that about his wife, he would kill him. So help me, darling, I was so upset I couldn't sleep for hours last night. What do you think about it? Pretty rotten, wasn't it? Well, enough of that. On to better subjects. Don't forget, send me your picture as soon as the film is done. My brother wants one of you also. Everybody seems so darn anxious to see you. They don't even know what they're really missing. The brother also sent his congratulations to us. Darling, don't be worried about me going across. Give you my word, it won't be for a long time. Besides, darling, I'll know long before it does happen. And so long as I don't mention it, let's not even think about it. Rather, let's think about the two of us being married, like we planned, huh? Honey, the next time I come up, can we set a definite date? I want to so badly. And honey, no matter what you write for a response to this, I won't do anything bad. Instead, it will be something I want to do so terribly much. What I mean by the sentence is, you wrote in your letter that if you keep writing that way that I will do something bad. Honey, I'm glad that you and your friend get along so well. Think she is a really swell girl myself. She will make some fellow very happy as she will make a perfect wife. In fact, is almost as perfect as my little girl. And that's saying something. Held class this morning for a change. Have to earn my keep sometimes, I guess. Have to muster 3 times a day now because of the restrictions. 8, 4, and 10 at night. Couldn't go sailing this afternoon as there was no wind. Caused it to be very warm. Don't forget the call on Sunday. Was paid today, as can be seen by the enclosed $10. Thanks, honey. It was swell of you. Still owe that 15, but maybe my Lois will let it go a while longer. Still thinking that package will come. No, darling, I haven't had the bracelet fixed yet. Must get in town first, and that won't be for a while. I love it the way it is, though, hun. Still a lot more to tell you, Lois, but I will forgo it till tomorrow. Sing this last part sweetly, Lois. You'll never know how much I love you. Bye for now, hun. Sweet dreams. I love you always, Art. Well, I have 2 points of commentary to make from this letter. The first is the harm that fake hoax news plays. Look at just what it could have done to this beautiful, blossoming relationship in its early stages. The downstream effects of publishing and producing hoax material, tricks, all of that nastiness is just far reaching, and it must stop. My second point of commentary is that art encourages Lois just not even to think about him going overseas. If we don't talk about it and I don't write about it, it won't happen. What a wise young man at the age of 21 that art is, to know that when we think thoughts, when we write them on paper, it actually solidifies them and can help produce it as a reality. And that completes Letter 28 of Love Letters to Lois by Art. Until next time, God bless.